Hi, I'm very grateful for the opportunity of being part in this conference today. I'm originally from Brazil. I was born and raised in Brasilia, the capital, but I have been living in Costa Rica for the past 25 years. For most of my life, I have been concerned with issues of social disparities and environment degradation, and have been passionate to find ways to address these. I have been especially interested in the values that drive and that should drive people's decision, our decision. So I have dedicated many years of work to the Earth Charter Initiative, which is a global movement that seeks to contribute to the paradigm shift towards sustainability, especially from the angle of humanity values in global environment and sustainability ethics. Along these lines, our Earth Charter Center for Education for Sustainable Development at the University for Peace hosts a UNESCO chair that is mainly focused on the intersection of sustainability, values, and education. So in this presentation, I will share with you some reflections on the Earth Charter as a global framework that articulates the values and principles for sustainability. And I want to invite you to consider it as a useful educational instrument. I would like to start with two questions. The first one is, what values do you think are underlined, embedded, or taught in the processes of teaching and learning? Predominantly, what are these values? And I ask this because if the values of respect and care for the community of life were really infused in all education settings, everywhere, we would probably be living in a different world. And second, I think it is important to ask ourselves if the current education system is really helping to perpetuate the current paradigm of unsustainability, or if it has a clear intention to cultivate a culture of care and respect for the large living world. From the work we do here, we think it is crucial to expand our consciousness and deepen our understanding on these issues, and also in clarifying the underlying values that motivate our decisions, and also to clarify what is essential to live together on this shared planet. Such as, we need to clarify how do we see our relationship with other human beings and with the greater community of life on this planet Earth. And how should that relationship really look like? That is where the Earth Charter can serve as a compass, as an ethical compass. The function of a compass is to give us direction and help us understand where we are currently and where we should go. The Earth Charter is the result of a worldwide multicultural and multisectoral dialogue and consultation process that had an effort to identify our common shared values, the values that should guide humanity towards a more just, sustainable, and peaceful future. So I invite you to get to know more about the Earth Charter and the details that are articulated in it. So the Earth Charter sets forth ethical values and principles and offers a general guidelines for sustainability. It challenges us to think about ethical values and to expand our ethical consciousness. The Earth Charter provides an integrated and coherent framework for developing educational programs and curricula aimed at teaching and learning. But let's take a closer look at its content. The systemic nature of the Earth Charter starts with an ethic of care and respect for the community of life. It's an ethic that's at the core, at the heart of the Earth Charter. Then the second part of it are principles related to ecological integrity. The third part of the Earth Charter are principles related to social and economic justice. And the fourth part are principles related to democracy, nonviolence, and peace. In total, the Earth Charter has 16 principles organized in these 4 different parts, sections. But the core of it is that it offers an integrated and systemic perspective of sustainability. The Earth Charter fundamental ethical principles are related to the notion of responsibility, but responsibility that goes beyond only human beings, but responsibility with the Earth community. Another key idea, as mentioned before, that is at the heart of the Earth Charter is this notion of respect and care for the community of life. So it has really an ethic that is more life-centric or eco-centric ethic of the Earth Charter that goes beyond looking at the right relationships between and among human beings, but really with the large living world. But it's an ethic of respect and care for the community of life with understanding, compassion, and love. The Earth Charter view on human development is articulated in the following sentence. We must realize that when basic needs have been met, human development is primarily about being more, not having more. So that notion of being a better human being is really at the core of the ethic that is articulated in the Earth Charter. And just one last point that I wanted to emphasize comes from Principle 16F, that is in the Earth Charter, which articulates this vision that we must recognize that peace is the wholeness created by the right relationships with oneself, with other persons, other cultures, and other lives, but above all with Earth and the large whole of which we are all part. So with this, you have an idea of what is it, the content that is articulated in the Earth Charter, the view, the worldview that is articulated in it. So I wanted to share with you that the Earth Charter can be used to support the following educational goals. The first one is raising awareness and clarifying the values and principles of sustainability. And the second, it can be used to assist educational institutions in reorienting their teaching and operations towards sustainability, as it can be used as an ethical reference, as a guide, as a compass. The Earth Charter can also be used to assess and reconstruct the entire curriculum and the management practices of an educational institution in an effort to ensure that the institution is doing everything it can to prepare students to meet the great challenges of our time. These are just extracts that I took from a guide for using the Earth Charter in education, which is a material that is available for free in our website. In the current time, many governments and institutions are focused on the SDGs, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and many of us see education as a driver for the implementation of this whole 2030 agenda that is articulated in these 17 goals. So SDG 4 on education is really an invitation currently to look at the key role education has in reorienting many of our policies and practice towards sustainability. But at the heart of the SDGs, we see values and ethics as a reference to guide practice to achieve these many of these SDGs. I also wanted to share with you this tool, this resource is a mobile app called Mapping that has been developed as a social media way to engage youth, young people, to engage schools, to engage different projects at the local community level in the implementation of SDGs, of each one of the SDGs, and it serves as a link to the SDGs and each of the Earth Charter principles. Mapping is an app that you can easily download and you can find more information in the website mapping.org. It mirrors the same idea as Instagram, as a social media, to report activities that you have been doing in your school or in your community projects to implement any of the SDGs. I would like to end with this invitation for you to explore and see the Earth Charter as an instrument to help you raise the bar in implementing sustainability practices in your education setting. Thank you very much.